Good morning, everyone. It's Sal Post. How you doing? I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's having a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. It could be midnight, who knows? But you're here with me. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I hope you're all doing well. Before I start, please can I ask a small little favor? Could you subscribe and smash a like on the video? That'd be absolutely splendid if you could do that, guys. Thank you so much. So let's get right into it. Since I was online yesterday, there's been a number of news that has been breaking about Manchester United. Of course, we had the swap deals, we had the offers, we had players leaving to go to PSG. We had a lot of things going on in regards to Manchester United and beyond, of course, and some of it was really disappointing news. But I want to speak first in regards to the swap deal that I heard yesterday in regards to Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Dumfries. Now, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is 27 years old. Dumfries is 28. What do you make of that deal then? Because yesterday you were speculating that Manchester United are ready to do a deal with Inter Milan for the swap deal with Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Dumfries. The question you have to ask yourself is, good morning, Alex. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're well. The question you have to ask yourself is, why would Inter Milan be willing to let Dumfries go on a swap deal? And this confused me, because at the end of the day, if Dumfries is such a great player, why would they be happy to take Aaron Wan-Bissaka and give us Dumfries? Well, I think Dumfries is a good player. I do. But at the end of the day, I was just a little bit curious as to why they'd be willing to do that. Will it help us? Would you be happy with Dumfries as our right back option? Dumfries is obviously an experienced international player, 28 years old. Been around the block for a while now. He's been on our radar for a while. We've been looking after Dumfries for the last five to 10 years, it seems. So at the end of the day, if it was a swap deal that we're doing, would it be much of an upgrade is what I'm pointing at. Do you think Dumfries would be an upgrade to Aaron Wan-Bissaka? And in my opinion, I don't think it's much of an upgrade. I do think that Dumfries is more of an attack-minded player, as opposed to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Good morning, Sonny. How you doing, my friend? My brother, don't want to sign a new contract. That is the reason why they wanted to go. Oh, okay. Who's Odolphus? Who's Odolphus? Who's Odolphus? At the end of the day, basically, I know what you mean. Basically, Dumfries could be playing his last games for Inter Milan, and he could be signing for Manchester United. How do you feel about that? If it was a swap deal? I mean, I'm a big fan of Anderson, as I said, and Jerome Frimpong. Will those deals happen? It doesn't look likely now. Obviously, if we get Dumfries, then that's it in regards to the right back berth. We won't be signing any more right backs, in my opinion. Morning, Chow. How you doing? Chow or Ryan? Good morning. How you doing? I'm going to watch Man United v Arsenal. It always makes me laugh when people say Arsenal. They said, well, shame about the Arsenal. Yeah, the banter of Arsenal is too much, you know what I mean? This Saturday, can't wait. Isn't the game in America? Yeah. So you're in America at the moment, Chow, yeah? Big up. Enjoy yourself. Go and watch the game. Get some photos, get some autographs. Relish it, it's going to be a good one. And hopefully Euro plays. I know that Xerxes and that are staying at home, but obviously you're going to see some new players and you're going to see some of the youth teams. So report back your findings and let me know what you think at the end of the day. Now, in regards to Wan-Bissaka and Dumfries, I mean, Dumfries is a good player, a very good player. But I was just a little bit concerned as to why we would want to swap Dumfries. And you live in LA, brilliant. I've been to LA a few times, Orange County, filmed a music video out there a few years ago with the Outlaws, if you know who they are, Tupac's group, and Shade Shiest and TQ, very big West Coast singer. Anyway, so basically, I'm a big fan of Dumfries, but I was just a little bit curious as to why they would accept a swap deal with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, because obviously Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a different type of player to Dumfries. He's a low block defender. Why are AC Milan looking for a low block defender? It is a little bit curious to me, and let's see what happens in regards to that. For me, it seems a little bit far-fetched, although I would be very, very excited with the deal for Dumfries, of course, because it adds more attacking dimension to our play, and I'll be happy if we manage to do that deal. And of course, as I said yesterday, Manchester United need to explore swap deals now. They need to explore loan deals now, of course, until we get some players out the door. But at least we're doing business, and if we can get those players through the door, and we can swap players and we can loan players and we can use players as leverage to get other players, it is smart, and that's what we need to do. Now, it also reported yesterday, Manchester United are after a 20-year-old Benfica player, Portuguese international Antonio Silva. Now, Antonio Silva is one of the type of players that I like. Young, left back, left-sided centre-back. Brilliant player, and very, very highly thought of in the world of football. Now, we were after him a year ago when we didn't want to pay the release clause. His release clause is, of course, a humongous 100 million euros. But at the end of the day, I think those are the type of investments that we need to do for the future. This is the players that Man United need to look at, players that we can play for us for the next 5-10 years. And that's exactly what I've been saying about João Neves. I'll go on to João Neves in a bit because I have my reservations about João Neves and what has happened with him. But in regards to Antonio Silva, I think he fits the mold perfectly in regards to the Ineos regime and what they want to do, the type of player they want to bring in, the age of the player they want to bring in, that type of thing, you know. Any news on Ugarte? I'll go to Ugarte in a bit. There's quite a bit of stuff going on with that. But in regards to Antonio Silva, this is the type of player that I like. 20 years old, of course, broke into the Benfica side about a year ago now, I think, and a very, very good player. Of course, a left-sided centre-back. That's what we need, the left-sided centre-back. I'm banging the drum with you guys. We need that left-sided centre-back quick. We need it fast, and we need it swift. That's what we need, a left-sided centre-back. And 100 million euros, could we do a deal with Benfica? Who knows in regards to that. Let's hope we can. Rui Costa seems pretty open to flexibility and doing deals with Benfica, of course. I read his quotes the other day, and I'm going to touch on those quotes in a bit about what he said about various Benfica players in regards to transfer fees, etc. Now, Manchester United have gone in with a last gasp, a third offer for Jarrad Branthwaite. Jarrad Branthwaite, the Everton player, has said to be very unhappy by the way he has been treated at Everton, and he has rejected a new contract. Which is funny when the way he's been treated, like he's in some sort of horrible prison or something like that, but he's playing football in a Premier League side. But at the end of the day, he wants to leave Everton. He feels like he's not getting a chance to leave Everton, and he has rejected a new contract for Everton. Manchester United is supposedly have offered 65 million euros plus 5 million. I believe it's pounds, is it? Yeah, it's pounds. 65 million pounds plus 5 million on add-ons. Now, this for me stinks of bowing down to pressure in regards to Everton and doing what they want. For me, too much money for Jarrad Branthwaite. Jarrad Branthwaite should be 40 million to 50 million euros, not 60 to 65 million pounds, 65 to 70 million pounds with add-ons, of course. It's absolutely diabolical that we would go in for an offer of that amount of money for Jarrad Branthwaite. What do you think about that? But it seems like Manchester United are desperate to land the young player. He's a good player. I know he's a good player. He's a future player. Left-sided centre-back. Can play right centre-back as well. Very good player. And we've been speaking about him for the last few weeks, months. Of course, he already agreed personal terms with Manchester United a while back, but the price tag has proved too difficult to match for Manchester United. But it seems like once a player hands in a transfer request, there seems to be only one way it's going to go, which is Branthwaite leaving in this instance. I can actually see Man United doing a deal for him. I don't know why, but I can see Man United doing a deal for him. I think that there's too much noise around Branthwaite to say he's not going to come to Man United. It just for me, it seems like it's going to happen. Something like that's going to happen. In regards to Ugarte, Manchester United are still negotiating with PSG in regards to Ugarte, of course. Now, PSG, I'm going to bring in João Neves. João Neves, of course, has agreed to go to PSG. And Benfica have agreed a fee with PSG. What do I think about that in regards to that? It opens the door for Ugarte. Manchester United could get a cheaper deal for Ugarte, could actually get the deal through the door quicker. We do need Ugarte, I agree, Chow. We do need Ugarte. We need that enforcer in midfield who can break up the play, etc. Who can, defend, from the midfield position. I think he would be a brilliant signing, and I think that also he's handed in a transfer request as well. So at the end of the day, once players hand in a transfer request, that's it. I think Ugarte is another one who will be at Man United next season. I believe that. I believe it's delayed because we cannot afford the transfer fee, but I believe now that PSG have look like they are going to sign João Neves, and I'll touch on that in a bit. It looks like Ugarte could be going the other way to Manchester United, which would be good buy for us, and it's a player that we do need, of course. Now, in regards to João Neves signing for PSG, I have my opinions about that. I feel like certain players of a certain age shouldn't be going to a league in France like PSG. Many people will say that, PSG play in the Champions League, blah, blah, blah. But it's a league that is a foregone conclusion. You're going to win the league, and the PSG will win the league. And it's just like a bit of a cowardice from João Neves. Now, I reported the day before yesterday that there was an offer on the table for João Neves, and it seems that it's come to fruition. Unfortunately, it's not Manchester United. I was hoping that it would be Manchester United, but unfortunately, the offer was not from Manchester United. Rui Costa, obviously, of course, reported that João Neves, there's been a bid for João Neves, and he will not leave necessarily for his release clause. I was hoping it was Man United. Unfortunately, it's not. But that leaves the door ajar for Ugarte to come to Manchester United, which will be good news, of course. We'll be very happy with that. Why are we offering Branthwaite over 100 ways? Yeah, this is the thing. We got to be careful not to go into the same mistakes that we've done in the past, which is paying players over the odds on their wages. Branthwaite has made it pretty obvious he wants to come to Manchester United, and I feel like we have to be careful how much we offer these players, because if it doesn't work out for Branthwaite, if he comes to Manchester United and it doesn't work out, that's when we get a problem with selling players, don't we? We're not saying that he's going to flop, but you have to obviously prepare for the worst. It's cautious. You have to prepare for it. You have to prepare for the worst. Of course, I hope he comes to Manchester United and becomes a roaring success and plays for us for the next 10 years. But we've got to be careful about handing out ridiculous contracts so early. Branthwaite is not the problem. Branthwaite wants to come to Manchester United. Branthwaite is desperate to come to Manchester United. It's Everton who don't want to play ball. But at the end of the day, if Branthwaite hands in the transfer request, that could force Everton's hand. He's already openly said he wants to play for Manchester United. And do you blame him? We all want to play for Man United, don't we? You want to play for Man United. I want to play for Man United. The biggest club in the world, the best club in the world. So we have not seen it any. Sonny, what are you talking about in regards to whom? Who are you talking about in regards to the transfers, or which player? Alex, 70 million plus for Neves, very talented but expensive. It is, but if we're going to bid 60, 70 million for Branthwaite, I mean, we could have easily got João Neves through the door, especially if we did a deal with Sancho. We could have done something like that type of deal, of course, which is, of course, a very shrewd way to do business. But at the end of the day, we're not doing it, and it looks like João Neves is going to PSG. We'll have to cope with it, basically. And good luck to the lads. I hope he does well at PSG. But I just feel like it's just a waste of a career when you go to PSG. What do you think about that? That was my opinion. I think when you go to a PSG, it's just kind of a waste of a career, isn't it? It's like, 5 years of your career wasted in the French league. I don't think they'll win the Champions League. I don't think they're particularly that good. I think going to the French league to have a foregone conclusion of winning the league when they're going to win the league anyway without him. It's just a bit funny for me, and I just feel like he should have tested himself at a project like Manchester United. But if Manchester United do not come in with the offer, what can we say? We can't say nothing about that. It's Manchester United don't have the money. Fan, what's going on, my friend? Brentwood. Brentwood is a football team in Essex, Sonny. Essex, London, near London. Brentwood. Yeah, I've been there, and it's quite a nice place, quite green. And quite nice, Sonny. I don't know. Elaborate on Brentwood. I want to know what you mean. Basically, Fan, how you doing, my friend? I hope you're well. Neves on 25 million, no more. I agree. I do agree that these players are over extortionate. These players their price tags have gone through the roof. Well, in the past, these players would be worth 25 million to 35 million, but now every single player seems to be worth 100 million. Even what's his name? Old Richard Rios from Palmeiras is said to be over 100 million. It's ridiculous, isn't it? It is to me. I mean, at the end of the day, a player who's not proven himself in Europe, 100 million, and it seems like everyone is putting 100 million price tag on their players. I mean, I won't be surprised if next week we get Terry Edwards, who plays in the Championship, for 80, 90 million. It's just a joke, really, isn't it? And the prices are going ridiculous. It's silly season, as they say, and everyone thinks their players are worth so much, except Man United players. They seem to undervalue Man United players. Man United players seem to be significantly less than other players in Europe. It's a bit strange, isn't it? Especially if they've achieved more in their careers. It just seems a bit crazy to me in regards to how much they evaluate Man United players as opposed to their own players. I guess that's the way it is in regards to João Neves. He was 100 million release clause, 70 million I think they got him for. It wasn't necessarily his release clause, as I reported a couple of days ago in regards to Rui Costa, saying that he would not necessarily go for his release clause, and he hasn't. Alex, I don't get why United would have cave in on a price for Branthwaite and bid for Silva also. Mate, I feel we need one left-sided centre-back, but I wouldn't have caved in for Branthwaite, and you're absolutely spot on in regards to that. I would not have caved in. I think 65 million to 70 million. Just so I clarify, I think it's euros. 65 to 70 million euros is too much money for a Branthwaite to do. Antonio Silva is also a lot of money, and this is, again, who are Benfica? Why are they charging so much for their players? Have they won the Champions League? Do they do well in the Champions League? I know Benfica and Sporting Lisbon do create some very good players. I know they have a conveyor belt of players. Conveyor belt is my favourite word. I say conveyor belt a lot, but it just adds to the feeling of what it is. I mean, they have a conveyor belt of young players that come through Sporting Lisbon and Benfica, and they do overprice their players. And the reason they do that is because teams are interested. And when teams are interested, it's like having a flight somewhere. You know, the flights go up. And, you know, when a flight is very popular, the flights go up. When there's a football match abroad and you have to go to that football match, the flights go up. And it's a bit like the transfer market. When teams are interested in that player, they extortion it, they make it go higher. Although I find it very, very strange that João Neves signed for 70 million euros, I believe. If he was so good, why did they buckle under the pressure of paying under the release clause? That's just my opinion on that. And at the end of the day, Antonio Silva is not a 100 million euro defender. I like the player. I think we should sign Antonio Silva. I think he's a brilliant player. He's a brilliant prospect. 60 million tops should be the price we pay for a player like that. Basically, I feel like even a 50 million should be given to a player like that, because at the end of the day, when you look at it and you look at it from afar, they have not played for an elite club. But some may say Benfica are an elite club. They were in the 60s and 70s, but they're not an elite club now. So they've got to be realistic when it comes to prices. I believe that we will have a big signing coming in, and it probably could be an Antonio Silva, Ugarte, one of those type of players, of course. Now, in regards to David Hanko, another left back that we're interested. The chat were mentioning his name yesterday, and the name has started to blow up over the last 24 hours. Of course, Hanko is obviously a left back, a left-sided centre back playing for Feyenoord, 26 years old, a bit older. Probably will add a cheaper option in regards to the left back berth if Manchester United were to go after a David Hanko. I like the player, very good player, forward thinking, can go forward, can play left centre back, can play left back, can play left wing back, a very good player. I'm glad that we are looking at these players as well, and we're not just looking at the obvious players, of course, the players that the sensationalist players, the Antonio Silvas, the João Neves, of course. I'm glad we're looking at players like that because they are good players. And if we don't scout the market, we won't find good deals. And I think if we sign a David Hanko, it would be a good signing. But of course, we've got a number of left back options on the table. Another one is Ferdi Kadioglu of Turkey, of course. Manchester United have inquired about Ferdi Kadioglu. They're waiting to hear back from Fenerbahce. Of course, Fenerbahce would not want to sell Ferdi Kadioglu Postecoglou, especially now that Jose Mourinho is in charge of Fenerbahce. Of course, we all know how the tenure at Manchester United went with Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho would not want to sell a player to Manchester United. I doubt it. But Ferdi Kadioglu is an option. But yesterday, it seemed like the David Henko rumours started gaining elevation, and there were noises around and noises from notable people as well that David Henko is an option for Manchester United. Good player, and another one on the conveyor belt of names that we're looking at, and we have a list of names. And what's impressive about Ilios and what's impressive about this current regime is that we are looking at multiple players, and I like that. We're not just looking at one. We're looking at multiple players around the world, and I'm glad about that, which is really good. In regards to Jadon Sancho, Tutto Sport in Italy have said that Juventus are waning in their interest for Jadon Sancho. Of course, Juventus were in for Jadon Sancho, but it seems to be dying down somewhat. In Tutto Sport, they quoted as saying that the offer for Jadon Sancho is waning, and they may pull out of any type of deal for Jadon Sancho. What do you make of that? What's going to happen with Jadon Sancho? Will he end up staying at Manchester United? According here in Italy, what they're saying is that he could be staying at Manchester United for the time being, as Juventus are interested in doing deals for other players. Of course, Conceição, another player that they're after, and obviously they want to sell Chiesa as well to Fiorentina. This is another, and once that deal gets done, maybe the Sancho deal will gain elevation. But at the moment, that deal doesn't seem likely to be done. Chiesa leaving Juventus, so let's see what happens in regards to that deal. And if that deal does go through between Chiesa and Fiorentina, then we have to wait and see if they're going to come in with another offer for Jadon Sancho. It's unfortunate that we're finding it really difficult to sell these players, and as I touched on yesterday, it's the wages. We just can't get over that, unfortunately. Now, in regards to Morten Højlund gained elevation yesterday in regards to Manchester United and the Sporting Lisbon player. Of course, good player, very good player. Another CDM on our ranks. Morten Højlund is expensive as well. We can't get away from that. He's not cheap. He will go for about 70 million to 80 million euros easy. Sporting Lisbon are not budging on that fee, and at the end of the day, why should they? He's 26 years old. I wouldn't go for that deal, but it's another name that we are linked with, and another expensive player that we are linked with. It seems like every single player that we're trying to sign is 70 to 100 million euros, which is crazy. But at the end of the day, I think we will get one. I do. I believe we will get one. I believe one will come through the door. Finally, what's going on? Italian, German, France, Man United have to go in the transfer market. No big money. Yeah, we have to be careful. And Irfan, you're very right on that. We have to be careful what's going on and who we sign and who we go for. I do believe that we will go for an Antonio Silva, an Ugarte, a Morten Højlund, for example. We will go for one of those players, and one of those players will carry a substantial fee. I don't think we'll sign a lot of players in regards to a substantial fee, but I believe that Manchester United will sign one very expensive player. But as long as we get all the positions covered, I'm absolutely happy. And at the moment, we're doing deals. We're trying to negotiate with other teams, swap deals, loan deals. And this is the type of thing we should be doing. So we should be looking at loan deals. We should be looking at swap deals. I would go to PSG and I would give them Sancho for Ugarte. Of course, now it looks likely that João Neves is signing for PSG. So that could open a door for Ugarte and a cheaper option. I absolutely agree. That basically Ugarte is not worth 70 million. He's not worth 59 million. But I don't think they'll sell it for that much. I think they will lower the price. I believe they will lower the price. Now that they are signing a João Neves, they need the money. So they will take the money from us. I think if we offer a 45 million, we will get Ugarte. If we have that money, that would be good. If we could do a swap deal with Sancho, that would be good. But obviously, notoriously, swap deals are quite difficult to do. Now, obviously, it's a bit of a mess at the moment in regards to transfers. We've got a lot of names out there throwing at you, a lot of different players every single day throwing at you. But rest assured, Manchester United will have a lot of business done by the start of the season, which is very, very soon now, which is like 3 weeks away now, isn't it? It's crazy. Time flies when you're having fun, isn't it? It really is. And we have to we really have to be prepared for next season, of course. Well, I would have liked a lot of some of these players to be on the pre-season with us, of course. It would have been great to implement them into the team and to see how they do and to work on tactics. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Hopefully, they're ready by the Charity Shield against Manchester United coming up very soon, couple of weeks, very soon. I think that is a very important game. I feel like if we defeat Manchester City at Wembley again, just think about the confidence that I bring to the team, and just think about what we can do next season. Man United slow and about need here we go. Yeah, mate, we do need a here we go, and I touched on it yesterday about Manchester United's slowness in the transfer market. Of course, Manchester United, we have to balance it out. One thing is that we can't be paying stupid money for players that are not worth that money, right? Which is we don't have it anyway to be spending that type of money. Number two is. It's just we need to offload players, to be honest with you, and we need to get them off the wage bill. That's the problem. I believe they're working out the best deal for the club. I believe they're working on the best deals for the club, and I believe we should be using no excuses. Yes, FFP is a problem, and I touched on it yesterday. It is a problem, but Man United need to move on from this we're not being held to ransom thing. We don't want to overpay for players. There is such a thing called Manchester United tax that every time we go in for a player, they add another 30 million, it seems, onto the price tag. Man United will win versus Man City. Yeah, I think Man City are falling. I think they're declining rapidly. I do believe Manchester City will struggle next season. Quote me wrong, quote me right, quote me wrong. But I think they will struggle next season. What do you think, fan? Do you think they'll struggle next season, Man City? I think they will. I think there will be problems next season, Man City. I don't think it'll be easy. There's news that some are unhappy with Pep. Can you believe that? Would you believe that they are unhappy with Pep? It's crazy, isn't it, really, when you think about that they would be. What is your player you like more in Man United? In Man United right now, I have a number of favourite players, but I was raised in the 90s, so I mean, it's very hard to gain my affection for certain Man United players. But if I was to say my favourite Man United player right now is Licha Martinez. I love Licha Martinez. I think he gives his all. I think he gives you everything, and I think he's everything we need, in that team. He's a bit like Ugarte. He's another one we need, like that type of player, as you said, fan. And I feel like Licha Martinez is my favourite player at Manchester United right now. This present moment in time, I think he's a good player. I do like Diego Dalot's attitude. I do like Diego Dalot as a person. I think he's a good person. And to be honest, I like Casemiro, even though a lot of people don't like Casemiro, obviously, because his legs are dying. But at the end of the day, I like Casemiro. I think he's a great player. And I just think, yeah. Ciao. Pep did kill football. I know that Manchester City people will be defensive in regards to that. I think he's made football robotic. I posted a video of Manchester United against Chelsea in 1995 when we defeated Chelsea 4-1. And you see the play in that image, and you see the way football was played, the interchanging, the working, the pace, players moving all over the pitch. It was like a freestyle type of football that was enjoyable to watch. Nowadays, football's too robotic, and we thank Pep for that. Obviously, we don't want to thank Pep for that. I'm just being sarcastic, but I do think Pep has destroyed the mentalities of other teams, because other teams feel like that's the only way to play. And we shouldn't be copying things like that. You should be original with your ideas. Of course, everyone wants to play up from the back. You go there, you stay there. You don't move out of that position. You don't move at all. You stay there and you don't go anywhere else. And that's the problem with it. Mainu go versus Liverpool and Man City. Wow, fan, we had some great moments last season. In particular for Mainu. Mainu, of course, was brought through by the great Ten Hag, of course, and he played against Liverpool. He scored a brilliant goal, bended it in the corner. It was a fantastic goal. It was, and obviously the Man City goal in the final. Yeah, it was. That pass from Bruno was absolutely sublime. And, of course, we hope for more moments like that next season. And we hope that we're moving up the league very, very quickly. And we are doing the thing. We're doing the damn thing, and we move on from that. So, hopefully we win more trophies next season. And we have more fantastic moments. We have more great moments to come. We hope that we'll be winning another FA Cup, another Europa League. Hopefully we'll be challenging for the Premier League title. I said it. I said we can. I think if we get all the transfers through the door, I think we can challenge for the league title. What do you think about that? Do you think it's a possibility that we're challenging for the title? I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not going to change my stance on that. I think it can happen. I don't know what you're thinking. Now, in regards to Kadioglu, I mentioned Kadioglu earlier, but I wanted to talk about Tyro Malacia, if I may. Tyro Malacia, of course, has gone into rehabilitation. He's another player that has disappointed and unfortunately played. I can't remember the last time he played football. And Manchester United could be making a move for Ferdi Kadioglu, according to reports over here in Italy. Manchester United are acquired by Ferdi Kadioglu, but the stance from Jose Mourinho is strong, and he does not want to let Ferdi Kadioglu go. Now, Malacia, they want Ferdi Kadioglu to replace Malacia. Malacia, it looks like his days at Manchester United could be over at this present time, because we cannot keep carrying injured players, unfortunately. So Ferdi Kadioglu, who I'm a big fan of, will be absolutely brilliant. And I think if we do go in for Ferdi Kadioglu and we sign a Ferdi Kadioglu, will be brilliant, as will Miguel Gutierrez. That's why law of averages, when you get a bunch of players together and you have about 100 names, one is going to come out and one is going to sign. And that's what I like what we're doing. As long as they're quality names, that's what it's about, isn't it? Fan, Europe Cup, yes, Man United have to win, go back to you. Yeah, mate, I would love to win the Europa League. I would love to go into the Champions League. I would love to come to win the league, and that's what it's about, and that's how we should be aiming there, fan. Exactly. We should be aiming for the top. As we said, you aim for the moon, you land on the stars. You aim for the stars, you land on the clouds. You aim for the clouds, you land in the mud. And at the end of the day, you have to aim high. You have to aim for the stars. And we're Manchester United, we should be aiming for the stars. We shouldn't be aiming any lower than that. We should be aiming at the top. Good morning, Kenny. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're well. I hope everyone is blessed. Don't forget, if you want to come on the channel, you want to have a chat with me face to face, that is absolutely fine. You're more than welcome anytime. Pep ball is boring, just sideways. Yeah, and people are clocking onto that, Kenny. People are clocking onto his style of play, which is boring. People are starting to work out how to play against it as well, which Ten Hag did to effect in the FA Cup final. He absolutely scored Pep Guardiola, didn't he? Absolutely made Pep Guardiola look like a prat, didn't he? In the FA Cup final, absolutely scored him with McTominay up front, absolutely madness. Of course, we had Licha Martinez back, which added well-needed balance into our team. We had so much balance, and it just felt good when we beat Manchester City. Hopefully, us lot will get more moments like that next season, and you guys, you lovely people, will be here with me to celebrate. We'll be here celebrating, of course, if we do it again. We want more moments like that. We love winning trophies, and that's what football's about, not coming second place without a trophy. We need to win a trophy and come in the top four. But I said myself, I feel we can aim high. We can aim higher. Aim for the stars, as I said. Yeah, I said earlier in the show, Neves going to PSG. That means, yeah, Ugarte, they have to sell, which means, as I said earlier in the show, which means Ugarte their hands may be forced to sell Ugarte. Of course, they need the money now. Manchester United could come back in with an offer. Hopefully, we get an offer of around 45 to 50 million. Should be enough euros. Should be enough to snatch Ugarte off PSG's hand. Of course, they don't want to upset player because he has handed in a transfer request, and they have to let him go. They cannot keep him. This is a democracy. You cannot keep players against their will. Of course, I know it's football. I know it's not serious like that. But at the end of the day, he's not going to be held against his will. And if you have a player who wants to leave, it's not good for business. The business, as who said it? Who said it in WWE? It's not good for business. It's good for business. It's not good for business. I think it was Triple H. Is it good for business, or is it good for? Is it not good for business? Who remembers those days? Brilliant. Triple H is a good guy, actually. Met him once. Fantastic person. He's a West Ham fan, though, so I wouldn't take him too seriously. I would say that to his face, though. But at the end of the day, yeah, Manchester United look like they will sign Ugarte. I've been fairly confident about Ugarte all summer. I think he's the midfield option that we are solidly looking at, and the one that is consistently coming up in the news and consistently coming up on the Manchester United website and Manchester United Twitter pages, etc., fan channels, etc. And even Romano has mentioned Ugarte going to Manchester United. So it looks like like it could be a possibility. I believe we should do a deal. I think we should at least explore the deal to give them Sancho and take Ugarte off their hands. What do you think about that? I think if we gave them Ugarte and if we gave them Sancho and they gave us Ugarte, I think it would be a good deal. The only thing is PSG, do they want Sancho? It looks like Juventus don't want Sancho anymore. They need to sell. They want to sell Chiesa. I believe he's going to Fiorentina or something like that. Tutto Sport reported. Once that deal is done, then Sancho could be going to Juventus, but I would try and explore a deal with PSG and Ugarte. Wan-Bissaka first move to Inter. Yeah. So basically, I mentioned earlier in the show that Manchester United want to do a swap deal with Dumfries. Of course, Dumfries is a good player, 28 years old, Dutch international, can go forward. My only reservations was that the swap deal with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Why would they want to swap Dumfries for Aaron Wan-Bissaka? Is there something there we're not reading into? We're not looking into? We're looking close enough. Are we looking close enough at that deal? Why would they want to get a low block defender and give us Dumfries? What do you think about that? What do you think the issue is about that? Of course, Dumfries into Milan. Good player. He's been on our radar for a long time, and I've always admired the player. I think he's a good player. My preferred player is Van der Sar. I like Van der Sar. I think Van der Sar is a better option, a younger option. I think if we went for a Van der Sar or a Frimpong, of course, that would be more to my suiting. But of course, Frimpong will fetch a hefty fee. Frimpong, of course, his release clause has expired, so we have to pay premium for Frimpong now. We cannot get him for, I think it was 35 million was the release clause, or 40 million, something around that line. Now he's going to go for 60, 70, easy. Of course, Leverkusen are the champions of Bundesliga, and they're in the Champions League, so they were going to want a hefty fee for their player, of course. So we can't blame them on that. It's expired. We should have moved quickly. We should have moved more quicker, and we should have moved more efficiently in regards to that. But in regards to Inter Milan, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, it will be a good move for him. Although he's a low block defender, it will be a good move for him, and I wish him all the best, because the one thing with Aaron Wan-Bissaka that I want to say is that he done very well for us last season, playing out of position, playing left back, playing right back, wherever he played, and he didn't moan about it. He didn't go to Twitter, he didn't moan to the manager, etc. He just got on with it and he played, and that is big respect to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And I wish Aaron Wan-Bissaka the best of luck. I hope he does really very well for them. And that, if he does go, of course, and if we do swap with Dumfries, then I hope we do well with Dumfries. I've just got a bit of reservations as to why they would give us Dumfries and take Wan-Bissaka. It just seems a bit odd to me. Has he got an injury record? Let me know. In regards to Victor Lindelof, Victor Lindelof has gained the interest of Fenerbahce. Of course, Victor Lindelof is an ex-Jose Mourinho player. Jose Mourinho is a huge admirer of Victor Lindelof, and Manchester United could do a deal with Fenerbahce for Victor Lindelof, which would be good for Manchester United. Of course, we'll get more money in the bank. We'll get more money to put towards our transfer targets, and that will be very good. How much Victor Lindelof goes for? It could be around 15 million. Of course, that is on the low side of the offer, but it looks like Victor Lindelof, in the last year of his contract, basically he has to, at the end of the day, move on, and we have to get some money through the door. Big up, Mark, my friend. How you doing? Big up, Chow. Big up, Kenny. The usuals in the chat. Absolute legends, a lot of you. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to smash a like. All of you are absolute elitists. You are the elitists. Fan as well. We're all family here, mate. All family. Big up, Mark. Big up, everyone. The band, good morning. Yeah, it's all early for me, Mark. 7 a.m. in the morning. You know, when I'm in the UAE, it's 10 a.m. so it's a bit easier for me, but in Italy it's 8 a.m. actually in Italy. So I get up nice and early, brush my teeth, have a cup of tea, and then I'm straight to the Manchester United news. As we are dedicated to the dunya, as they say. So we are dedicated to this ish, and we get on with it. Yeah. So Alex, what's good? Everyone, good morning. The family is large. The family is expanding here. We are becoming the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in this mother. You know, so here we go. Irfan, Liverpool have inquired about early bird business. That's what it's about, Mark. You know, we're on it. We're on it 24/7. Some people in beddy buys. Some people snuggled up 2 pillows, nice and comfy. Liverpool have inquired about buying Leverkusen Odion Akasanu, who is valued at around 45 euros. Caught offside. I wouldn't take caught offside with too much seriousness, but obviously it's a name. that they're throwing out there. Odilon Casino. Basically, let me check out Odilon Casino if he's going to Liverpool, because I want to see if these players basically. Odeon. So basically, Liverpool have a habit of signing these type of players, don't they? At the end of the day, they have a habit of signing these type of players, and some of them work out, some of them won't. My one thing here, I don't want to bring Liverpool too much into this conversation, but my thing is that Liverpool will struggle next season. I don't think Slot is a good manager, as they think. I mean, I'm not going to say he's a crap manager. I just don't think he's Jurgen Klopp. He's not, and I think they're going to struggle. I think they're going to have a David Moyes era. I do. I think they're going to have what we had, which was a David Moyes era. I do. Call me crazy. Ciao. No, I don't live in Italy. Ciao. I live in the UAE, Abu Dhabi in this mother. I'm originally from East London, Leytonstone to be exact. The same as David Beckham. I was born in the same hospital in Whipps Cross. I was born, so that's where I'm from. I'm English. I live in the UAE. My in-laws and my family are in Italy. So at the end of the day, I come here, I visit Italy. And whilst I'm out here in Italy, I do go around, I do search around and visit various stadiums. I do my football things. I love my football things. And I go and visit stadiums. I go and look at the newspapers. I read the newspapers. And I speak to a lot of people out here in regards to news and transfers, etc. I've been to Florence so far, Benevento. I've been to, I'm in Naples at the moment. So, yeah. I let it to go down. We all would like Liverpool to go down, fan. Of course we would. Of course we would like Liverpool to go down. The only players from Bayer Leverkusen I want is Palacios. Palacios is a fantastic player, Alex. I would love to sign him. We haven't had any inquiries about him at the moment. I haven't heard any news about him. So I hope we do go in for a player like Palacios. But at the moment, I should write it down that we have a book of players that we're interested in, a book of different players, all left, right, centre, up, down, left, right, up, down again, of different players that we want. Ciao, are you talking about the UK weather or the Italian weather? The UK weather is much worse than where I am right now. I'm in Napoli, which is close to, obviously, Amalfi, Sorrento, Ischia, Capri. So basically it is very hot here. Very, very hot in Naples. If you go to the north of Italy, it is very, very cold. Very, very. Oh, UAE weather. UAE weather is madness, mate. When I left the UAE, it was 51 degrees, mate. It was absolutely boiling. Boiled egg. You could boil egg on the floor, mate. Trust me. And we hope that Manchester United's transfer dealings are sizzling as well. We need Manchester United's transfer dealings to start sizzling again. We need to boil that egg. And we need to get out there. So will we. As I said a couple of days ago, so will we. Definitely, UAE weather is madness. It's a mad thing, even in the winter. It's lovely in the winter, actually, 26, 27. But I've been living there 2 years. Fantastic place to be. Brilliant place. I'll advise anyone if who's young enough, who has the ability to move abroad, to live abroad sometimes, to travel and to learn about other cultures. It's absolutely the best thing you can do. Go and see football matches abroad. Go and see, even when I was a kid, I used to go abroad and I used to watch Real Madrid against Atletico Madrid. I used to go to those type of games. Rennes against Brest. those sort of games, And I used to just love going to see football, and I used to go and see League 1, 2, 3, any game. I just used to love it. When I used to land in a city, I used to say to myself, "Where's the nearest football team?" When I went to Empoli in Italy, and I was like, "Hey, there's a football team here. Empoli, I wanted there's a football team here." And I always want to go and see the football stadiums. I want to go and see different teams, etc. And I've done that throughout my life, and I've always researched football around the world, from Hearts of Oak in Ghana all the way to Napoli to Manchester United. I'm here. UAE people crazy about football. UAE are more crazy about basketball. But it is growing. It is growing. One thing I would point on is in regards to the UAE, of course, Abu Dhabi, they purchased Manchester City. You do not see much about Manchester City. There's a place in the UAE in Abu Dhabi called Yas Island. And there's a Yas Mall, right? And there's a Manchester City megastore. And this Manchester City megastore is empty every single day. You see more Barcelona shirts. You rarely see a Man United shirt. You see the one or two. You don't see them. I'm the one wearing the Man United shirt every single day with pride. People look at me like, and basically, Oh, I mean, when I go into a coffee shop and I'm in my Man United top, people are like, Man United, and they laugh. Like, I don't want them to laugh anymore. They're not going to laugh at us anymore. We're going to be at the top, right? We're going to be at the top and we're going to be challenging for that title pretty soon. You bet your bottom dollar that we'll be doing that. Don't worry about that. But no, football is not the biggest sport in UAE. It is camel racing, which is a sport, by the way, camel racing and basketball. They do that kind of thing. So if you like that sort of thing. They also like handball, which is one of their favorite things. Of course, I go jogging a lot in the UAE. There's a marathon in the UAE as well. Hopefully I'll join that as well. I jog in the 40-degree heat. Yes, I'm a nutcase. So at the end of the day, I do that and I enjoy it. So yeah, but in regards to Manchester United, it is a big few weeks. Of course, we have the Fulham game coming up very, very soon. Very soon we have the Fulham game coming up and it is approaching fast and thick. Hopefully we can get a couple of signings at least through the door. I, again, disappointingly don't think that we will have all the signings ready for the start of the season. But I hope we have a couple of signings in there. For the first game, actually, against Manchester City in the Charity Shield, I hope we can get that one. We can get the signings in the door and we can go from there. Chow, in the past decades, we've been laughing stock, hopefully things. Yeah, and at the end of the day, the biggest disappointment for me, and is that I rarely see Man United jerseys in shops, especially Adidas shops. I see Arsenal, I see Juventus, I see Bayern Munich. I don't see Manchester United jerseys even in the Adidas shops here in Italy, and I don't see it much in the UAE, unfortunately. I have to go to special places and stuff to see if they have the jersey. But I don't buy it, of course. I'm not putting money in the Glazers' pocket. It's just interesting to see that we are where we were 20 years ago as to where we were now. And we are in danger of the new generation. The new generation that are being brought up, no Manchester United as not challenging for the title. This is the worrying thing. We need to change that mold and we need to change that narrative very, very quickly. And I believe we can. I believe under this new structure, we've got a lifeline, and I think that things will happen. I think transfers will come through the door, and I think we will sign players, and I think it will be a good season next season. I'm remaining positive about that. I hope you're remaining positive. We're going to be in this together, guys. We're going to be in this absolutely this whole circle and this whole circus. What's going to happen next season? We're going to be in it together, regardless what happens, and we will see what happens next season. I am very confident about it. I'm very excited about the new season. I'm excited to see how Ten Hag does. I'm excited to see the new players come into the team and see how they do. I'm sure we'll be better next season, and I'm sure we won't have 60 odd injuries on our belt like we did last season, and we had record amounts of injuries and we had off-field issues. I hope upon hope, if players like Sancho, players like Marcus Rashford do stay, I hope that they keep their head down and play football. That's what I'm hoping. I hope there are no noises. I hope there are no leaks. I hope there's no moaning about what position you're going to play. I hope there's no moaning about not playing. I just hope that they get on with it and they perform and don't moan and just get on with the game. And that's my opinion on that. I think that should be number one on their brains, is improving themselves for Manchester United. I'm very disappointed Luke Shaw hasn't joined Manchester United for the pre-season. I feel like he's had 8 months off work and now wants to have another holiday on top of that because he played 1.5 games for England. I think that is the type of mentality that we need to change at Manchester United. If I was Luke Shaw, I'll say, look, I want to get fit. I want to train. I want to play in these friendly games. Can I play? And I would do that. Even if I play 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, I would try and play the friendlies. You cannot say the same about Licha Martinez because he got to the latter stages of the Copa America and played every single game competitively in South America. Luke Shaw played a couple of 20 minutes here, 1 game here, and obviously missed the whole season. So at the end of the day, I hope that we change this mentality of players I'm going to have another holiday type of mentality. You know, he's already had a holiday for 8 months, 9 months. And I feel like this is the Mason Mount sort of mentality, little niggle injured for the rest of the season. I don't want that next season. I want our players to play, to give their all, give their bodies, put their bodies on the line. And that's what we need at Manchester United at the moment, is players who put their bodies on the line, of course. Thank everyone who joined me yesterday. I had a very special guest yesterday. His name was Terry Christian. He's obviously used to present a TV show in England called The Word. He's interviewed the likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Whitney Houston, the lot. He's also knows every single Man United player. He's a Manchester United fan, a legendary Manchester United fan, of course, of over 60 years. It was great to have him on the show yesterday. Thank you those who joined me for that show. It was a very, very good show and a very, very productive. Now, on this channel, we do things right. We are 4 decades in the game. We are 4 decades as a Manchester United fan. There's many people who are out there who are not Manchester United fans. Unfortunately, some of them I know. And at the end of the day, we're doing it for the best of the club. And I'm speaking for the love of the club. And I hope our club do very, very well next season. And I pray that we challenge for the title, because that's where we need to be. We need to be challenging for the title ASAP. Has to go now. He's passed. Yeah, fan. I mean, Luke Shaw, I'm giving him 1 more season. I think this season is his last season. If he doesn't pull up trumps, if he doesn't work hard and he doesn't play enough games, I would get rid of Luke Shaw. But I'll give him 1 more season. Of course, Luke Shaw, when he's fit, is a very, very, very good player. Leo Chandler should be our next captain. Of course, he's my favourite player, as I touched on earlier. He's my favourite player at Manchester United. But if Luke Shaw doesn't have a good season next season, I would look at pastors new, and I would look at trying to replace him. I think we should replace him now. I think we should start early, and I think we should try and get a new left centre back, left-sided player in, which it looks like we're doing at the moment. Of course, news about Antonio Silva, as I touched on earlier in the show, would be an amazing signing, although the price tag is extremely high. I think he would be the type of signing we should be looking for. Guys, you are absolutely elite. You are the best. Thank you so much for joining me today, this morning. I hope you have a fantastic day. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to smash a like as well. It's very important that you smash a like. It's very important you drop a comment. And if you clip the video, please clip the video. Let me know. I'll retweet it. I will post it on YouTube, and I'll give you a shout out your name as well. I'll have a number of guests coming on my show. I have so many great material lined up. Of course, I'm not just doing watch-alongs, and I've got contacts to get people on the show, and I will be having some big people on this show coming very, very soon and to your screen. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me. You're absolutely amazing. Hopefully, we'll get some news within the next week or so that Manchester United have a here we go. Another here we go, and that will be absolutely fantastic, and that will add more fuel to our fire for next season, of course, and we will add more enthusiasm within the fan base. We've done okay so far. We do need to keep it moving. It has slowed down somewhat, but don't give up. Transfers are coming through the door very, very, very soon. Guys, thank you so much. Have a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever you're doing. Have a great time, and don't forget, I will be here later on with Chatterbox, so I'll be bringing it up a notch in regards to Manchester United and Manchester United chat, and talking the real talk. We don't just say real because it's in the name of the title. We say real because we are real. We are real Man United fans, and we are at the top. We're aiming for the top. Guys, thank you so much. Big respect, big love. All the best. Cheers.